And one of them was Rabbi Geffen, who was the founder of Men's Club. And the rabbi there was still is very dear friend, Rabbi Jeffrey Wahlberg, whose father was Cantor Max Wahlberg. Many of you know his compositions because I'm sure you know Mechakel Chaim Bechesed. Well, that was written by Cantor Max Wahlberg. And we're sitting at Rabbi Wahlberg's house, and Rabbi Geffen is explaining to Jeremy, Rabbi Wahlberg's youngest son. He said, you know, I used to be the rabbi where your Abba's the rabbi 50 years ago. And this little 8-year-old looks up and says, wow, you should be dead by now. And that's exactly, you remember these things like it was yesterday. Then, but before that, Rabbi Geffen's granddaughter was my wife Harriet's roommate at JTS and a bridesmaid at our wedding. And now her nephew is getting married, and I'm doing the wedding in New York to the daughter of a very dear friend of ours on July 3rd. So somehow everything comes full circle. The other lesson in the Jewish community is never say anything about somebody because chances are they know someone who's related to them. Okay, and I recognize a lot of names, a lot of faces here. It's good to see Ed way out in Seattle after his whole life in Miami. And it's great that he was able to arrange for my brother Bruce and for Kathy to buy a place not far from us so we can spend a couple months a year down in Florida, where I look forward to thawing out Monday night and Tuesday. If I were to ask people, and I know everyone's muted, what melodies do you know for Hine Matov U'Manayim? Stan, you know any?
Yeah, but I made a promise to all the cantors when I go to the CA conventions not to sing.
It's okay, we'll forgive you because I can mute you if I need to.
I have a tin ear. But anyone else who wants to join in, I've turned off the unmuting so you can unmute yourself and say. Anyone who wishes.
Everybody knows Hine Matov U'Manayim, right? Okay, but this one is a little different. It's a totally different thing. Stan, can we get rid of this? I have a recording in progress. I guess push just continue. I got rid of it. All right, so here's a different setting of it. And I know I'm not going to be able to hear you, but if I sing how good it is, you're going to repeat at home, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim ham yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is.
together on this day.
Together on this day.
On this day. So Hine Matov U'Manayim, how good it is for us, Achim, Nashim, everybody, to be together on this day. Stan, you're calling pages, you said?
No pages. Don't worry about it.
No pages. All right, there are 6 psalms to introduce Kabbalat Shabbat. Some of you know some of the melodies. We will do some of them, give you a chance, and hopefully you'll be able to participate with me. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena. Naria, naria, letzuri shenu, nikadma fanav betodah. Naria, naria, Litzuri Shenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena. And those who are following in their Siddurim can continue. As we talk about for 40 years, I was angry with the whole. Arba'im shana kut bedor, v'amar amtoe levavim, v'hem lo yade'u dirachai, asher nishbati ve'api, im yevon el menuchati. Psalm 96, Stan mentioned, reminded me of the Shabbat we had Shlomo Karlbach come to our traditional conservative synagogue for a Shabbat. And he and some of his bandmates actually stayed in our basement over Shabbat. And it was such an amazing time. It was a time of better cooperation, if you will, between the movements. I specifically remember right after Havdalah, my late mother saying, "What's that smell coming up from downstairs?" But those were the 60s, and it wasn't legal like you can go into a storefront here anymore in Canada. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai Baruch Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo Bechol Ha'amim Nifleotav Ki Gadol Adonai Umulal Me'od Norahu Al Kol Elohim Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya Lai 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 Ya Lai Lai Lai. We'll give a chance for those who want to complete the psalm on their own. And we're going to conclude it with some words that I think we need more of. We're here for a simcha. We're here for Jacob and Kelsey, and with Bruce and Kathy and the whole mishpacha. The end of that psalm is Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiramayam umelo Yishpot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'emunato Adonai malach tagel haaretz Yismechu im rabim. Zion will hear and be glad, and the daughters of Judah will exult. Ohavei Adonai sinura, shomer nafshot chasidav miyad rishayim yatzilem. Now the next line you should be familiar with. Or zaru alat tzaddik, uli yishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous. And one of the things I've done over the last almost 50 years in this profession is try to relate prayers to things that people know within their lives. So a bit of movie trivia. What movie starring two at least main movie stars featured these words, or zaru lat tzaddik? Anybody? Nobody knows?
History
Alan?
of the World Part 1?
Nope, but a good guess. Close, but not there.
How
It
about
was
Young
starring
Frankenstein?
Gene Wilder and Harrison Ford in Frisco Kid.
Frisco Kid.
And when the Native American tribes found the Torah and the chief said, I read this, and he turns to Gene Wilder as the rabbi and said, didn't understand a single word. When they're praying for rain in the movie, they sang, Or zaru ala tzadik, uleishrei simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, uleishrei simcha. So besides a nice Shabbos experience and a l'chaim, now you can take home a bit of movie trivia. Simchut tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'hodu lezecher kodsho. Mizmor shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Ki nifleot asa, hoshia lo yemino uzroa kodsho. Dia Adonai Yeshuato. And the psalm continues. Zamaru Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra, bachatzotrot vekol shofar, hariu lifnei amelech Adonai. Yuram hayam umlo'o tevel v'yosheveva. Neharot imcha uchafia chadarim yiranenu, lifnei Adonai kiva, nishpot haaretz, nishpot tevel betzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim. We're continuing now with Psalm 99. Adonai malach yirgezu amim. And partway through near the beginning, you'll see words that you're familiar with that are taken from the psalm that we use when we take out the Torah. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. If you know it, sing along from home. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Bi'amud anan yidaber aleihem. In a pillar of cloud he spoke to them. And here's our words at the end. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We continue on with Psalm number 29, which is the last of our Psalms, the 6 Psalms for the 6 days of creation. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'chadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai Amayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Kol Adonai Dehadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vaishaver Adonai et Arzei Halevanon, Vayarkidem Kemoegel, Levanon Besirion, Kemolen Re'emim, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lavotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholela Yalot, Vayechesof Yarot, Uvehechalo, Kulo Omer Kavod, Adonai Lama Bulit Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Li'amo Yiten, Adonai Yevarech et Amo V'Shalom. Stan, we're up to Lechadodi. Do I have a second to interject a personal story about Lechadodi?
It's entirely your time to do whatever you'd like.
Okay,
I told
so
you, this is the best shul you ever worked for.
Absolutely. Back in 1991, I had a mini sabbatical, and my family and I spent a few months in Israel. We rented an apartment in Givat Sofrotit in French Hill. We rented a car, a Subaru that cost more than renting the apartment. And we traveled around with cassette tapes that our late father had used on a trip that we could be our own tour guides. And we decided one Shabbat we want to go to Sfat, the mystical city. And we did in the Ari Shul in Sfat. And those who have been there know that the bima there faces what direction? South. We're used to all synagogues facing east traditionally, but within Israel, you face towards Jerusalem, and within Jerusalem, you face towards the Kotel. And we stayed at this wonderful hotel, and Shabbat afternoon, we wanted to go for a walk. So we decided to walk through the ancient cemetery in Sfat. We looked down the hill. There were Hasidim cutting the cemetery to the mikveh at the bottom. And then we came across a grave that was covered in wax drippings on either side. And the name was Shlomo Halevi Al-Kabetz, who was indeed the author of the prayer Lecha Dodi. And across the top of the tombstone were etched in the words, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, from this mystic in Sfat. So somehow relating the prayer to a life experience that we did makes it all the more meaningful. We'll do a number of verses of it together. Very proud of all of my colleagues. I see some of them who are on from the Cantors Assembly. And one of them in my recent gig at B'nai Torah in Boca, where I conduct a wonderful choir, and those who have been there on Shabbat know that pre-COVID times, you had to get there early just to get a seat on a Shabbat morning. We were filled with snowbirds and locals and kids and seniors and everybody. And I've had the honor of working for them now for 12 years. And one time when we had a concert, we brought in a colleague of ours, cantor Gideon Zellemeyer, who's at Shari Shemaim in Montreal, keeping the Canadian theme going. And Gideon had received part of a Grammy Award for collaborating with Leonard Cohen on a recording. So you never know in the Jewish world when you're going to come across somebody. So we're going to start Lecha Dodi with Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah to Lecha Dodi. I know I can't hear you, but I know you're all singing out in your hearts. Lecha Dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Yishmianu elam yuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litila Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha Ki mekor habracha Mirosh mikedem nesucha Sof maseh v'machashava techila Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Mikdash melech yir melucha Kumitzei mitocha hafecha Rav lach shevet b'emek habacha Vehu yachamol alai chemla Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Now to a melody that some of you might be familiar with as well. Na'arim me'afarkumi Lishivi de tifartechami Al yad ben Yishai betalachmi Korval nafshi ge'ala Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. So one of the most beautiful traditions that we have is welcoming the Shabbat bride. But since we're here celebrating Jacob and Kelsey, are they there on the screen? Can we pin them, Stan? As we go to Boiva Shalom, and we're talking about welcoming not only the Shabbat bride, but our beautiful bride, our handsome groom, where they're smiling, praying harder than anybody that I won't embarrass them with stories from when we're young, which I promise not to do. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And from that we can only go into Simen Tov Mazel Tov Mazel Tov Simen Tov Simen Tov Mazel Tov Mazel Tov Simen Tov Simen Tov Mazel Tov Mazel Tov Simen Tov Yein Lanu Yein Lanu Yein Lanu U'Lechol Yisrael Yein Lanu Yein Lanu Mazel tov to Jacob and Kelsey. Mazel tov. Mazel tov to you. I don't know where we went on the screen.
Mazel tov.
We have Stan here. Stan, can I share a couple memories? You
Go
asked
ahead.
me to tie in some things that are personal.
Sure.
And I know that you included one of the courses that I've been teaching for the last couple years called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And what I discovered is not just within my own community, but many communities, people come to minyanim and they're really not comfortable, or they have a yard site and they're not able to lead, or they don't know a lot about their about services or about the prayers. And one of the things I try to teach is, at least from my perspective, it's not about saying every word in the Siddur. It's about reaching down. There are times that I'll dwell in the Amida on one or two words. A few weeks ago, I dwelled on Shema Kolenu in the weekday Amida, hear our voice, and started thinking, what does that really mean? Do we want God just to hear us? No, we want God to answer us. Not only to answer us, but answer us the way we want to receive and what we want to hear.
You know what I'm watching? Mitch Martin, yes. Bruce's.
Yes. I'm sorry, Marion, something? Okay. The other are the words Mechaye Amitim, and we say them in every Amida. And traditionally, it's about God reviving those who have passed on. But to me, it's about keeping the lesson in the lives of those with us, learning from them, remembering how they used to do things, little quirks, laughing. I've officiated at numerous funerals over all these years. And the lucky families are the ones who can share memories and laugh. And they get embarrassed and say, am I allowed to laugh now? And I said, yes, because that's a blessing. So one of the things we do for Mechaye Amitim is last August when our eldest grandson became bar mitzvah, he read from the Torah beautifully in their Sephardi synagogue, the upright Torah, in the Yemenite trope that his father, Isaac, had taught him. And then my son Yoni and I came up and took off his tallis and presented him with my late father's tallis. And he wore that tallis for his aliyah, the maftir aliyah, while he chanted the haftarah flawlessly because he had a good teacher. All right, maybe. Okay. Then a couple months later, I wore my late father's tallis as I held and named our latest grandson, Ronnie, whose Hebrew names are Avraham Mordechai, named for my father and named for my wife Harriet's father. And I wore that tallis then. And now this tallis is going to be part of Jacob and Kelsey's chuppah on Sunday. That's what we mean by Mechaye Amitim to me. I'm not talking about some supernatural resurrection of souls. I'm talking about keeping those we love close to us. And I know, Stan, you wanted something for a refuah shlema, correct? because I'm sure there are those amongst us and who are praying for people. And often people will say to me, God didn't answer my prayers. And unfortunately, the answer is yes, God did answer prayers, but maybe not the way you wanted and had hoped. And in the weekday Amida, there's a wonderful little paragraph that prays for refuata nefesh or refuata guf, that when we're talking about healing in Judaism, it's spiritual, it's mental and physical healing. And we also pray that those who are tending to our loved ones who are in need are given guidance and given strength. But the shortest prayer in Jewish tradition was offered by Moses in the book of Bamidbar for his sister Miriam. 5 simple words, 11 little letters. El na refana la. God, please, please heal her. And that's our prayer for healing. El na refana la. El na refana la. El na refana la. Refua shelema. El na refana la. El na refana la. El na refana la. Refua shelema. So we pray for refua shlema for all. You know, we within the Cantors Assembly many times publish things that you can see about what cantors do. And we have such wonderful, wonderful colleagues, some of whom run mikvahs and Hever Kadishas and are educators. Well, let me share with you something I've recently got involved with. And it's about brain donations for research. And if you have a loved one who has passed away from a horrible, now incurable disease, ALS, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, we partner through this organization with major university hospitals. And it would be comforting to me to know that maybe someday something I've done has led to a cure for future generations. And if anyone wants more information about this project, we would love to take it continent-wide, Canada, US, and anywhere. And it's just something I become involved with and believe in strongly. Once again, if anyone wants more information, I know Stan can provide my email. Stan, is there something else we wanted, the Kaddish de Rabbanan?
That's it, Mitch. I'm going to open up the, let everyone unmute if you'd like to, if you want to join in. And then Alan's going to end it up at the after we're all done.
Can I
Okay,
just say,
so Kaddish, yes.
can I just say something? It's Marion
Please.
Tully. I'm visiting my daughters in Vancouver. I'm sure you remember Karen Tully. She
Of
was in
course.
USY with Bruce. And I'm a very
Yep,
good friend.
right here.
I want to wish you mazel tov because I'm a very good friend of Helen and Milton Goodman, the grandparents. So I just wanted to
And
say
they are
hello.
here in the other room. We're gonna get the family. Come here, Milt. Come and
Get
say
the whole
hello to
family in
somebody.
there.
You
Come
have-
on, bring them all in.
Okay.
Bring us here. Come on. Bring.
Come on,
Come on,
Sonny,
get
move
in.
the
Get
family in.
Kathy.
Come on.
Yeah, all right.
It's
So anyway,
as
while
you
the
said-
family is gathering,
Marion, there'll be time after. We'll have some
Or
time
can we
afterwards.
do, I hate to
Abba, I'm
interrupt.
here also. Abba,
Marion,
look, I'm here
hold on
too.
1 second. Marion,
Okay, sure.
if you could hold
sure.
on 1 second so we
Sure.
can finish the service.
Yeah.
We can do Kiddush the Rabbanon, and then we'll
I'm
open it up and
sorry.
you can wish and see
That'd be
everybody and
wonderful.
do.
I would love
Mitch,
to-
if you would like to
I
do
would love to
Elite
hear
Kiddush
from you.
Rabbanon, and then
Mitch.
we'll leave it open. And I'm sure Stan will stay for as long as you want to leave the Zoom open, and the Mishpocha can talk and wish Mazel Tov and do the rest. but let's just finish the service if we could.
I'm-
please.
I'm
I appreciate
sorry.
it.
No
I'm
problem, Marion.
sorry
We'll
for
go.
interrupting.
Not a
Sorry.
problem,
Don't
Marion.
be sorry. Pray it's fine, and enjoy your trip and enjoy your visit. There are 5 forms of the Kiddush, and as one who educates and teaches about Jewish tradition, there are 5 forms of Kiddush, and only one of them, the rarely used burial Kiddush, has any reference at all to death. But Kaddish Rabbanan is the original oldest form of the Kaddish. Debbie Friedman used to sing for our teachers and their students and the students of their students, which is Al Rabbanan v'al Tamidehon v'al Kol Tamidei Tamidehon. The exact same words that we're going to say now in Kaddish de Rabbanan. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alama v'berak hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayeichon v'yomeichon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi
Amen.
shmei Rabbah mefarach ala
Elam
u'yamim.
u'mei amaya yisbarech.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha. Grichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'adama v'imru amen.
Amen.
Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidehon v'al kol Tamidehon v'al kol man de'asakin be'oraita divi atara hadin v'di v'chol atar v'atar yehi lohonu lechon shalama rabba china v'chisda v'rachamin v'chayin arichin u'mezona reviche u'v'kana min koda ohon devishemaya v'hara v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Shalom b'mromav u'berav yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol yoshei teidel v'imru
Amen.
Amen. Hazzan Mitch Martin, Yasha Koach. I guess you're in Toronto. I knew the man. I grew up at Bathurst and Steeles in Bathurst Village. We used to come down to the BBYO house. And then I grew up at Adat Israel, just so you know. Toda Rabbah, beautiful tunes. Thank you so much for leading us in a beautiful Kabbalat Shabbat. To Kathy and Bruce Martin, Toda Rabbah, thank you for being the sponsors for tonight in honor of Jacob and Kelsey's wedding. May you have lots and lots of happiness and peace and joy. And the only thing I say to bride and grooms are, may you be as happy in your wedding as Karen and I, my wife Karen and I are in ours. And, you know, lots of children are great for the parents and the grandparents, but I like to say practice, 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 because practice makes perfect. So enjoy, Mazel Tov, and Mazel Tov to the entire Martin family. Lots of simchas and lots of good things. And I wish everybody a great week and only good things. Stay safe and stay out of trouble.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. Shavua Tov.
Mazel
Wait.
tov.
Now, Marion, please continue.
I'm sorry.
Shalom.
I'm sorry.
You're silly, Marion.
I was very
Thanks,
excited.
everyone.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Don't
Not a
be
problem,
silly.
Marion. Don't worry about it.
So you know the grandparents?
Hi,
now?
Marion.
I know everybody. Hi, Helen. Hi,
I'm glad
Helen.
to see you. I'm glad to see you.
I'm in Vancouver. I want to wish a Mazel Tov to you
I
and
know,
Milton.
I know. And I'm shocked, but I hope
I couldn't.
you're having a great time. And
Yes, no snow here, no boots, no heavy coat.
well, you missed all the
Hi,
fun with the
Bruce.
snow.
Hi, Bruce. Mazel Tov.
Hi,
to you.
everybody. Hello.
Hi.
Very nice.
Hi,
Eddie,
hi.
how's Seattle treating you, Eddie?
I can't believe you moved, Ed.
It's a blast here. We were right next to a lake, beautiful Lake Washington, and also Juanita Beach, where the park is right next door. And come visit. It's a beautiful place. My son and his daughter, my daughter-in-law are here. No children yet, and my daughter is moving here also. So
So you
we're
left
sitting
us
group.
in Florida. Wow.
Mazel tov, Ed.
Nice.
Thank you, Rachel.
Rachel.
Miss
Hi,
you.
family. Hi, everybody. Miss you guys. Love you. Wish I was there.
Look wonderful. That looks like
Me
Florida
too.
tree.
Hi guys, Mazel Tov.
Well, happy life, happy
Hi,
wedding.
Mimi.
Goodbye,
Hi
everybody.
everybody.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Good
Mazel
job,
tov.
Abba.
Margie, did you see Helen? That's my good friend Helen. Hi, Bruce.
Margie's off
Hi,
now.
Bruce.
Hey, guys. Yeah.
Mazel tov.
Hi, Uncle Bruce.
Mazel tov, everybody. Thanks,
Mazel tov,
everybody.
mazel
Shabbat
tov.
shalom.
Mazel tov to all the Martin
family.
Shabbat shalom.
Mitch, if you'll send me information about that program, I'll put it out in the next one, okay?
I would love it. Maybe we can coordinate something.
Okay, just send it to me. It's hard to hear right now with, okay?
Bye, guys. Ozzy, great
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Everybody.
Jacob, Kelsey, we'll see you.
Aren't you in the same house?
Different room.
Different rooms, yeah. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Hey, Oz.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Yum da 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 yum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 yum da 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 yum da 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 dum da 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 yum da 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 yum da 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 dum da 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 yum da 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 yum da 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 yum da 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 Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos is here. 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 Yum da da da